Today I'm going to take you through one of my dump freezer cooking sessions. This is where I take a whole bunch of raw ingredients that I've either chopped up or diced or just like taken straight from the store, and I'm going to put them into bags, and then I'll put them in my freezer. And they'll be there for any time that I need them, whether it's a busy night or a night when I just don't have a lot of energy, or just, when you don't want to think about it, they're there and they're just so great. Typically, you just take them out of the freezer, you can thaw them, and then the next day you put them into an Instant Pot, a slow cooker, oven, stove, sometimes even the grill, but it's usually just kind of dump into like the slow cooker, and it's hands off and you really don't have to do anything else. I can do 7 of these in about an hour to prep them, put them in my freezer, so it really takes a lot of the pressure off. It also saves me a lot of money because I can find things at the store on sale and make them into these different meals, which is really great too. The meals I'm gonna be making today are paleo and AIP friendly, and they're gonna be from this 7 AIP dinner freezer meals plan number 1, which you can get this whole entire plan of all 7 meals, the recipes and everything, by joining my free You Can Do AIP challenge. You can go to thrivingonpaleo.com/AIP challenge to sign up, or I'll put the link below as well. And in that challenge, you'll also get a regular 3-day meal plan, which is done for you with all the different kind of recipes for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 2 snacks, as well as a guided meditation to help relieve stress, because don't we all have so much of that these days? And one more note before I start on this, I want to mention that you can do all 7 recipes at once, like I'm gonna do right now, or you can do 1 or 2 at a time, or have a friend come over and help you, depending on your energy level, your pain level, any number of your symptoms that you're suffering from. You don't have to do this all at once. So don't take this that like you have to do this all at once and you're gonna fail if you don't. You're definitely not. Just do it in your own constraints and at your own convenience. It is nice though, I have to say, like when you have those really low energy days where you just don't want to cook at all, it is so nice to be able to take one of these out of the freezer and dump it into your Instant Pot and then have a dinner. It's one of those things that's just so nice. So let me go ahead and show you how easy this is.
First, if you're working with the plan that I provide, I have pre-printable labels in there. So I print those out and then cut them out so that way I have them ready to go. I keep the rest on electronic form so I can just look at it on my iPad, but you can definitely print the whole entire thing out. It's really up to you. Then I go ahead and gather all of the ingredients that I'm going to need. I go ahead and I get the ones from my pantry and the ones that are not refrigerated first, so that way they're sitting out the longest, it doesn't really matter. These are gonna be all like my spices and oils and that kind of stuff. I put my stuff into Ziploc gallon-sized plastic bags, but you can use a glass container or these silicone stasher bags as well if you're not comfortable with using plastic. And just a note, if you use glass, make sure you don't fill it up all the way because it does tend to expand. My next step is to look through all of the different recipes and see how many things I have to chop up or dice or anything like that, like onions and garlic. And then I go ahead and I chop up all of the onions that I'll need for the entire plan. This just makes it easy so that way I have them all ready to go. Then I gather all of my refrigerated ingredients, like any of my proteins and meats. I do leave anything frozen still in the freezer. And then this handy device is by no means necessary, but it is quite helpful. It's a plastic bag holder that just holds the bags open for you, so that when you're pouring in a lot of ingredients, you don't have to keep opening them up. And then once I have all of the ingredients gathered, I go ahead and I start the process. I just follow the recipe. So it usually tells you how much of a protein to put into the bag, and I'll go ahead and do that. And then if I'm using those little plastic guides, I put the plastic bag into there. And then go ahead and add all of the spices, oils, vinegars, coconut aminos, or any other ingredients that are required for that particular recipe. As you can see, I'm just putting them straight into the bag, just measuring them straight out and putting them right in there. Honey, I don't even bother to measure, I just kind of guess. And then once I have all of the ingredients into the bag, I push out most of the air, and then you can see I'm massaging it. And this is to kind of mix up all the ingredients so that they're not just concentrated into one form. So they're just all mixed up, all marinating the chicken or whatever protein it is. And I push the rest of the air out of the bag. I flatten it, and then I take one of my pre-printed labels, and I print mine out on just regular printer paper, and I like to use packing tape, clear packing tape to adhere mine. You can also print it out onto label paper, or if you don't even want to use the labels, you can just use a Sharpie. The labels are nice though because they actually have the instructions on how to cook them. And then from here, I just go ahead and I follow the meal plan, and I make one meal at a time, putting them all into the plastic bags, sealing them up, mixing them up, and then placing them in a pile after I've labeled them. I did want to make a note on this one. This is a frozen salmon dish, and the salmon's actually still frozen. I left it in the freezer, and I'm just going to put them back in frozen. I have not thawed them whatsoever. Just going to take all of the ingredients, put them in the bag, put the frozen salmon back in, and then that'll be done. There's no need to thaw that in between. And the same goes for any other frozen ingredients you may have. Vegetables, meats, proteins, whatever. If they're still frozen, keep them frozen. And I did not actually wind up making all 7. I realized I didn't have basil down in my garden to make the 7th meal, so I only actually made 6. But still, I was very happy with everything that I made. In the end, your kitchen does wind up being kind of a mess, but it's only one time you have to clean it up versus 6 or 7 times, so that does save you a lot of time. And then I have all of these wonderful meals ready to go. Put them in my freezer, and then I could take them out whenever I need them. It is so freeing and such a great feeling to have. You really feel accomplished when you get this done. And remember, if you want to make this meal plan, go to thrivingonpaleo.com/AIP challenge, and you can get a copy of this with a bunch of other things as well.